Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, stock market trading mayhem. All the last weeks and this week as well. Boots are on the ground in the Middle East and bombings, people's desalination plants, oil fields, gas fields, humans. This is escalating, ladies and gentlemen, the war in the Middle East. Therefore, you should be able to take advantage of it. Wealth builders should be rejoicing regarding money, but not rejoicing on what's happening because you know what's coming next, the recession. And it's going to be one hell of a doozy, 1930-esque. So protect yourself. We're going to get into it. But we got to talk about this stock market trading you need to be in, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome. Stop struggling now gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, thank you so much for being here. I am late for this SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream, but it seems every Monday and Friday there are some health crises that needs to be addressed 30 minutes before showtime. So, once again, I have to participate and thank you so much for joining us since we're late tonight. But once again, it's very important. Please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information. Also, I want to know, has anybody seen any of the trailers? Anybody? It seems that our trailers don't show anymore. So I just want to find out if anybody's seen any of the trailers. I actually added a different one today. So once again, that's SSN Lifestyle, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let's get into it, shall we? Because this is very, very basic. The first things are first. Let's first get into what you need to do. If you have not done stock market trading, and even if you have, the free Candlestick Trading Bible PDF is here. I'm going to put it in the chat room no matter where you're watching from. You should be able to pull it up. That's the PDF, or you can go to stopstrugglingnow.com, and at the top on the menu, it has Candlestick Trading Bible that you can download the PDF. That's right. So you have it permanently. All right. That's how we do it. That's the first thing. It's in the chat room and it's down below in the description box. And on other platforms, you guys already know I post it in every platform. So therefore, if you're on Twitch, you should have it. If you're on Facebook, you should have it. If you're on YouTube, you should have it. If you're on iHeartRadio, you need to get to our homepage and you too can download it. But since I've already said go to stopstrugglingnow.com, it's there, the top menu, Candlestick Trading Bible. So therefore, you didn't have to get the link anywhere else. You can listen. StopStrugglingNow.com is pretty easy, right? This is apropos for the situation at hand. America, citizens, majority are taking L's out here. Higher prices for everything you use. You live in a house or an apartment, even if it's free, your energy bills go up. Your gas bills are going up. Your gas for your car's going up. And by default, your insurances are going up and your property taxes are going up. So that means your rent's going up and your mortgage or your liability is going to rise just for living. And when you go to that grocery store, prices are rising as well. So therefore, you cannot get away from it. So you want it to be neutral when it comes to who you're going to vote for? Trust me, you may not want to be neutral anymore in the future, would you? Because this right here is no surprise. They wrote Project 2025 and they're doing every bit of Project 2025 as they said in plain sight. This wasn't any okey doke. People want to believe what they want to believe, but you better get on the game plan because after this wealth transfer is over, the people who have the money, the people who made the choices to make sure that your credit score and your debt is still low, so you have a 775 or more credit score. Dude, this is an assassination thing started 3 years ago. We now have 8 months left till December 31st, 2026. And don't forget your bank account outside the United States, crypto account outside the United States. How about that for starters? You want to have a business or real estate outside the United States. Those are the three things you need, ladies and gentlemen. That way you can possibly protect yourself just like the rich guys. They have offshore bank accounts, so do you. Offshore businesses, so do you. Credit that you will be able to use at your disposal, so will you. Because credit will not go away. You know why? That's how the economy has to move. So let's go look at something right now. I'm going to pull up something today. Let's see today. Let's go with NASDAQ, the NASDAQ chart, shall we? We'll get to that in a second. But after you download the Candlestick Trading Bible, some of you don't have broker accounts, right? That's the first thing. You don't have broker accounts. So you need broker accounts. You got to have that. Post-retirement travels in the house. You know what he's doing? He's doing the offshore business plan, the offshore bank account plan, and the credit score up, 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 because he understands where you need to be building wealth. And if you don't have the money, at least you'll be able to borrow. But he's out here buying things on islands, making sure that he has business and passive and revenue coming in. So that for no matter what happens here in America or in the Middle East, he's going to be able to survive. And he has more tools in his toolbox as well with building wealth. But nonetheless, welcome post-retirement travel to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Thank you so much with that icon next to your name, which I humbly appreciate. And he brings a tagline along with himself. Hello, all. Let's do this. That's what we do here, ladies and gentlemen. We try to help you. He's part of the team. That's right. He's here. Thank you so much once again. I appreciate it. And we're going to be talking about this NASDAQ. Let me pull this up real quick. Let me see what happened today. All right. We know what happened today. It was negative. 153 points negative. And the reason I'm going to bring this up is several. Because sitting on the sidelines, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be very bad if you don't have any other skill sets. Just going to say it like it is, because that's what it is. You're going to have to learn a new skill set, would be highly advised. Trading is one of them. Or you can learn the wheel strategies, such as post-retirement travel implements, which has to do with stock options. There's all kind of different ways you can trade the stock market. There's some people that said, hey, oil's going to be $175 a barrel if you do options 3 weeks from now. Just saying. Okay, it could get there easily. And the way things are going, it looks like it is going to get there. It's almost like somebody has friends that's making money off of this. That's what it seems like to me, because nobody in their right mind would move forward with a plan to engage with Iran when it was unnecessary. So why are you cutting off oil supplies and why are you giving Russia oil? Okay, I won't get into it right now. We'll get into something else. All right, because I have a serious problem when we start looking at what people do and then our enemies, and you're helping our enemies. Usually if you're helping my enemies, that means you're not a friend of mine. I'm sorry. You're like, they're bombing my friends, our friends, but you're going to help our enemies. That's crazy. All right, there you go, everybody. In case you get in the chat room, please say hello. Please share the video. No matter where you're watching from, say hello. All right. All right, this right here is weird. That should never happen, but I see it is. I'm gonna have to change this. I don't know what that is. Hold on a second, ladies and gentlemen. We can't have this popping up like that, right? No, we don't want that. Get out of here. All right, I'm gonna do something real quick. Remove, add it back. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, get your Candlestick Trading Bible because as you can see today would have been a good day. If you started at 9:30 in the morning, you could have been sitting right here. And as this was going down, I don't know what they're using though. Oh, it's the 1 minute chart. Oh, wow. Wow, this is pretty crazy for a 1 minute. Dropping this fast, this quick at 9:34, it's already gone down. This is insane. And by the way, in case you're not familiar with trading, you could use what they call sell, and therefore that is you're betting that it's going down further, so to speak. You're not really betting. You can almost figure out it should be going down, and it should be going down all day as it did. But the point is, sure, it goes back up and it continued down, and then it kind of stabilizes across the board, right? So, but here's where you would have potentially made a nice little sum within it looks like 20 minutes or so, 20, 30, maybe even more if you stayed in. These 1 minute charts, that's crazy right now. That that's a drop. That's a serious drop. So you could have made some money there. Then when you got here, I wish I can get that off the screen. But when you got here, you can see again, we have another drop off. So you had opportunities to make money all day on the NASDAQ. All right. Just so you guys understand, there's SPYs, there's QQQs, there's US 30, US 100. So all of these things means that if you were stock market trading, you didn't even have to be in the market no more than 30 minutes. And you could have made yourself a nice sum. It all depends on what you're investing, how much it is, and how much leverage you want to use to it as well. But the point is, you had every opportunity today. All right. Let's go look at, let's see who else. It doesn't really matter. We can even go to the Dow Jones. Percent, which is really not that much. But there would have been opportunities today on any of these. As you can see here. Well, wait, hold on. That's rising. There's going to be swings. So remember, you can win when you stock market trade, whether it's going up, whether it's going down, or you could be holding options as well. And when are we getting to the 1 day? All right, we getting over here to the 1 day. Still not there yet. Okay. All right, let me do something else while we're waiting for the 1 day chart to pop up. If you still haven't downloaded a broker, I personally use CoinX. There's a reason I use CoinX. It's because they use crypto to upload and they use crypto to download your profits. So if that's going to be the case, it's outside the United States jurisdiction. We have a broke country spending about $2 billion a day, and it's about to increase because we got boots on the ground in the Middle East now. 82nd Airborne even showed up. This is getting outrageous. So it's going to cost taxpayers a hell more money, and they're going to have to start searching for people's money sooner or later. All right, let's see. Is this correct? Why does this say it's a positive today when the chart clearly shows it's down? What the heck is going on? This is interesting. What's happening? Let's see what's going on here. This is strange. Okay, open 45,209. Okay, 45,191. What the? Why is it way up here though? That's strange. I am on the right day, right? What the? Yeah, I'm on the right day. This is weird. Straight weird. Okay, here we go. No, I moved it. That's strange. There was opportunity all day. That's great. That's great. Interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see these highs and lows. So there was plenty. Look at this. Rise and falls. Opportunities presented themselves a few times today, it appears. If this is correct, yeah, it is correct. That's 1 minute. Wow, very cool. All right. So anyhow, buy means you're gonna rise. It's gonna rise up. Your betting. I use the term betting. That's gonna rise. You're gonna have to figure your exit strategy. Consolidation along here. Okay, all right, whatever. Oh, wait, shoulders. Okay. But then again, you might want to have your charts, the 200-day moving average, but the candlestick trading Bible will help you a lot. All right, you just got to read it. It's 168 pages. And you know what? You know what the wealthy do? They keep information in plain sight because they know most people will not take the time to read it. They'd rather watch TV or do some other extracurricular activity that has nothing to do with their learning. So it's in plain sight and they go over it. It may take you a little time, but at least you can go to CoinEx, join their broker, and then they have a demo account so you can actually look at the charts. It's that simple. It's not that hard, ladies and gentlemen, but it does take a lot of work. Okay, let's go. Stock market just pulled back up. Night trading. That's exactly right. After hours, ladies and gentlemen. You know, okay, first of all, you have to keep in mind the stock market is geared towards the United States has to prop up their stock market. All right? It's plain and simple. They have no choice because they're broke. In order to have more people invest from around the world, you they have to feel it's safe to put money in the US stock market. They don't want to run off on sales. Let's just face facts. We have BlackRock, we have Vanguard, we have a few of these hedge funds not allowing people to withdraw their redemptions or withdraw money. They're saying, oh, we'll give you 15% of your money. That's all you can take out is 15% or nothing at all. You understand what this is because people, they know what's going to happen. So they were like, hey, man, just let me have my whatever number it is, whether it's 500 grand, whether it's 2 million, whether it's 10 million. They're saying, hey, man, I want to take out my money. We know what's happening. We're not foolish. We've seen this act before. War, tax cut, tax breaks, and spending. We've seen how this is going to play out. We want to get our money out because we want to set it on the sidelines for a minute. We don't want to leave it in your fund because you're invested in the NASDAQ. You're invested in the Dow Jones. We took a nice profit over the last 3-4 years. We don't want to lose that back just in case something catastrophic happens because something catastrophic could happen. Just by the news, overnight news, it could happen. But the point I'm trying to make to the point of post-retirement travel, yes, they're going to try and boost it up artificially. And so it's based on an increase. They have to have an increase. They can't have 3, 4, 5 weeks of down cycle, but it's inevitable because America's not in the standing that it once was. And so we've tariffed our allies. We've taunted our allies. Well, not us, but our president has. And They don't look at us the same way, and now they can't even trust us because they know that anybody that becomes president in power, they knew this for years. But generally, people didn't go way off the reservation. Generally, even if you went slightly off the reservation, it was still a known factor that you wanted to be part of the UN. You know, you wanted to be in the alliance from World War II. Do you kind of knew that. Now we don't know. They don't know because we're treating them like the enemy and we're talking smack. So again, telling them, hey, you guys should pay up into the UN and this, and we're big and bad. All that stuff does not do well for the world domination fairy tale that we have. And the problem is, we have a draft dodger again. I just hate this guy right now sending people over there to die while he was able to sidestep it. So again, this is going to bring up a whole bunch of worms, but we have to talk about it. All right, Gary Wolf, welcome to the SSN Nation. Money Making Monday live stream, stock market trading mayhem. You should be able to win, ladies and gentlemen, whether it goes down, whether it goes up, and there's going to be swings all week long. And pay attention overnight. And by the way, there's after hours trading as we speak. So you could have also made money right now, but I thank you for being here watching the video. All right, watching this live stream. Let me know what you think. And oh, Gary Wall's in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He brings his tagline. There has to be a way to know when you live. Actually, there is. I will have to start implementing it because I used to send out an email when I was going to go live. But just know, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to be live. 5:50 p.m., 6:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be live. I know the notification bell thing doesn't work. All right, we are being throttled back, as they would say, for internet speeds. Or some would say shadow banned. All right, Tay, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Thank you so much for being in the house. Very happy to see you once again. And she brings tagline. Whoa, I caught your show. Oh my goodness, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you smash that like button so the YouTube guys let other people know that you're in the house. That's right, we're throttled back. We've always been throttled back. Don't worry about it. I know who's responsible. Trust me. I know who's responsible. Like I said, this has been my life. All right, there's been interference my whole life. Well, not really. Only when I started doing some things, messing with the Billionaires Boys Club. Larry Will XO, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. I'm making a killing, shorten the market. Exactly, Larry Will XO. I love that for you, man. I love that. This is what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. This is almost the easiest time that you could have. It really is, because there is no setup. You have to remember, most of the time we would not be in a war situation and bombing oil countries that have a high amount of oil. And strategically, this is the only country that can block the Strait of Hormuz and bomb everybody in the Middle East. This is one of the few. And so this is like some child is at the helm. It's like, what were you smoking when you decided this? Because there is no way these dudes are going to go, we give up after you bomb them, after you disrespect them by negotiating with them, and then you bomb them after, while you're negotiating. I mean, come on. I mean, so Larry Will XO, I'm very happy because this has been going on for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we've been talking about it. We knew this was going to happen. Candlestick trading Bible and stock trading, we've been talking about it for 2 years. So you can get in the game. Even I had to go on my 5, 6 month reading because I didn't do stock trading last year. Not until like 7 months ago. I got the Candlestick Trading Bible. I was doing something with a trading bot because the trading bot actually made money for me the first two, three, four times until it didn't because I didn't know how to trade. I just used the bot. Then I realized somebody, MDA0214, said, man, you should learn how to trade. And I was like, you know what? Since I'm using the bot, it's true, yes. And I took some L's, but I didn't know why I was taking L's, nor did I know why I was winning. But once I started studying, I was like, oh man, this thing was doing great because the stock market was tilting downwards and tilting upwards. It works great for the bot. But when there were swings, oh, that pretty much blows your account if you're not paying attention. It was an Autobot. So then I said, hold on, I better learn how to actually do this. And that's the only reason I realized what the bot was doing. So, I mean, I can implement and use the bot, yes, but only if it's in a situation like what's been happening this past few weeks. Because in a downward trend, it works well. In a slightly upward trend, it works well because it hedges each side of the fence. And the way it works is very, very good. But if there's a swing up or a swing down, it could be good night. You could blow your account. And I mean, if you had $1,000, you can have zero. If you had 500, it could be zero. If you had 2,000, it could be zero because it trades for overnight period. It can do the London Stock Exchange, the US Stock Exchange. So it could swing wildly and you could blow your account because it's leverage most of the time too. All right, I'm very happy to hear this. All right, let's go. We got Citizen, New York, Israel. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream, and brings the tagline, Jasmine Crockett got her wake up call. LOL. Not really. It's Texas. It's Texas. And you got gerrymandering, and it's Texas. And it was for the Senate, so there's only going to be 2 seats. So it's not the House. So yeah, she was in a tough battle. So it is what it is. But it is, if you want to take L's, I don't like taking L's. I'm okay with what's his name, Tellerico. That made sense. Okay. Okay. We got some stuff about. Okay. Why can't I see this? Why is it hiding this? That's not bad words. TCHL8HB. I see you in the. Here it goes. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he just breaks it out. The Democrats are a joke. Hey, you know what? Anybody can make a statement. I can say GOP is a joke. They have the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And 4 of the Supreme Court justices like the GOP way. So they're running the show. And how are the Democrats the joke? But we should have a adult conversation. Don't just make statements. Give me what you mean by they're a joke. Give me some examples. Because, let's call it what it is. No Democrats would have got us in a fight with Iran. Oh, and by the way, Bush got us in a war. Bush 1 got us in a war. Bush 2 got us in a war. Trump got us in a war. And Reagan was over there doing crazy stuff. And so you do understand when there are recessions, who's at the helm of the recessions, right? Bush 2 recession, Bush 1 recession, Reagan recession. I'm missing the recession under Biden, Obama, Clinton. I'm missing it in your lifetime. I'm missing it. So when you say somebody's a joke, please give me some stats that prove this. Stats that prove other things are if you go back 50, 60 years, I don't even have time to pull all this up. But the bottom line is when Republicans are running in the presidency, they have GDP of, I think it's somewhere around 2.5% GDP, whereas Democrat presidents have a GDP of around 4. Jobs It's in the millions versus GOP, which is in 1 million or something like 1 or 2 million, whereas the Democrats are 6 or 5 million. It's not even close when you start doing the metrics. So please clarify what you mean by jokes. Trying not to fund ICE. I'm in the camp of don't fund ICE for $1 trillion when you pardon these guys that ransack the Capitol calling themselves patriots. They get pardoned and now they're part of ICE. And you got the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys part of ICE, white supremacists part of ICE, arresting United States citizens, harassing United States citizens. Now it's at the airport. Come on. Come on. What's America turned into? Nazi 1920? Come on, man. That's crazy. Don't let me get into it tonight. I'm trying to stay out of the fray. But you know me, I'm not scared. All right, let's go. In the last hour, the chart pulled up violently. Of course it did. Of course, this is what I'm talking about. The United States actually pumps up the stock market. That's what the Federal Reserve's supposed to do. That's what they're coordinating. All the hedge funds, everybody that's holding your money, the BlackRock guys, the Vanguard guys, they all got to call up and say, hey, man, we got to pump the stock up somehow. Because remember, they're holding your money. If this thing goes sideways, they're the ones that's going to be withholding your redemptions, which has already started. They know what's happened. See, this is the thing that irritates me most. You already see what they're doing, right? And people are still in denial. Hold on a second. Hedge funds are holding withdrawals or limiting. Okay, let's get down because I haven't had time to go. I don't have any reason to put this in my memory bank of all the places, but I put in hedge funds. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Morgan Stanley, North Haven Private Income Fund. They're restricting or capping withdrawals. Blue Owl Capital, Blackstone, Ares, I'm sorry, Heirs Strategic Income Fund, which is Heirs Management. All these guys limiting withdrawals after receiving requests for 9.3% shares by BlackRock, capping payout at 5%, not even 15. They're saying you can only take out 5% of your portfolio. That's it. We're holding it. This is why I told you guys from the get-go, you don't know where you live because this stuff that's happening right now, if it's never happened to you, then you would be like, okay, you'd be like a deer in the headlights. You'd be like, oh man, I didn't know I could. Well, when's this ever happen? No, it's happened already, except they don't usually have it public. They just snatch it from a few individuals, not a lot. All right, Morgan Stanley, which has the North Haven Private Income Fund, 45.8% of requests for the quarter were met. Restricted withdrawals after investors asked to pull 11% shares. Oh my goodness. 45.8% of requests for the quarter were met. Apparently, now these guys at Morgan Stanley, which has that North Haven Private Income Fund, you can't withdraw no more. Dang, they're killing people out here. Heirs Management. It's called the Heirs Strategic Income Fund. Capped withdrawals at 5%. Oh, this is funny. Hey, I've been telling you guys, if you're new here, you have to forgive my attitude about this, but all the rest of the SSN Nation has known about this for years. 6 years. I've been telling stories about my brokerage account being stolen before. Actually, okay, let's just call it restricted withdrawals, right? Okay, and no access. I've told about, I think that was like 3 years ago, I told that story about that. My bank accounts being jacked by Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and US Bank. Yeah, this is no shocker here. Blue Owl Capital restricted quarterly withdrawals from certain funds, not just one. Blackstone faced high withdrawal requests, prompting the manager to manage high redemption levels. Yeah, this is what these guys do. They're holding your money. And by the way, when you sign these documents, just remember, it's their money because you signed the document. Just keep that in mind. Don't act like you're new out here. Just like when you go to the bank and you say, hey, I want to open up a checking, a savings, a CD, whatever. All the documents say it's their money. That's why people have heard me say this before in case you're new here and you might have been to the bank and they start asking you questions. When you say, hey, I need like 8 G's, they start going, well, why? You're like, it's none of your business. What are you talking about? Who cares why? I need my money. What are you doing? Right? In the last hour. So yeah, that's no shocker right there, the last hour. But yeah, Tom Fordification. Oh, the man with the nice suits in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Man, oh man, that's right. Man, oh man. Okay, I know you up trading S&P on fire right now. There you go, MDA0214. Let me go look at this right now. SPY. Hold on, let me go check. Oh, where were we? Oh man. I'll do it this way. I'll just go to SPY. That's the. What do you mean right now? Oh, you mean after hours? Hold on a second. I got to go do something else then. You mean futures? Okay, let's go look. All right, let's go see what's been happening. We doing the mini or the? Okay. Come on, guys. Why can't you just take me? You could take advantage because. But this one, you know something's going to happen every day because every day the president here is going to say something. Then the president of Iran or whatever you want to call him, Ayatollah of Iran is going to respond. And then Israel's going to respond. And then maybe China or Russia might respond and those make moves on the market. So it's going to be swinging all over the place and that gives you buy sell opportunities. Up, buy, down, sell. And you can exit either position at any time. So you can take your profit and run. There's no reason to stay in there all day. The world above 1590, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Right on, signed up for a few prop firms. Are you going to tell us which ones by any chance and why? I'm just curious. You don't have to, but I was just curious. I'm happy. At least you're going to try, man. At least you're going to try. Oh, yeah. Dow Jones Futures is up 412. It's at 0.91. S&P Futures 0.88%. So that's awesome. NASDAQ Futures up 0.94. We're going to get 1% over. Well, right now, people have taken advantage. I'm going to go, since MDA0214 mentioned the S&P 500 SP1. I'm going to go. I wonder if it's going to show me. Yeah, it should, because I'm in the future side. We'll get to that in a second. But I'm very happy to hear that, man, that you decided to at least take your shots at the prop firms. I mean, at least if you want to use other people's money, I understand it. A lot of people use prop firms. I'm not mad at people. If you can get those challenges and you can actually trade and make money, because you do have to put in a stop loss, which is my only thing. Because when I'm trading, I don't really like having a stop loss, because you kind of know what the market's going to do. And sometimes it will drop that it almost like they don't even use 10%. Like if you had a 50,000, I'm just going to go off of 50,000 because that's what my friends were using on the prop firms. And so it was something like, I think it was 2,500 if I'm not mistaken, as a loss when they were trading live. So I think they could only go down to 4750 if I'm not mistaken on whichever prop firm they were using. So that doesn't leave you much room if you had that's like a 5% downturn, right? So if there's something that happens where all of a sudden it's a sweep and comes back up, you could be toast. You could blow your account. So and they had other rules that I was like, once you, like they said something like, even if you had went from 50,000 to 53,000, they reset the stop loss, so you still had the same type of range for a stop loss. And I'm like, that's kind of hard to do, but that helps people trade. So I'm very happy for you, the world above. Right on. Joshua Tree, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Very happy to see you once again. Thank you, man. I haven't seen live in weeks. Man, I know they do the thing, man. You know how they do us out here, man. The shadow banning is real. They keep us down, man, because they don't want this. See how simple it sounds? You could do it. You could learn it. You don't have to pay for courses. You don't have to go see my man Payne that I saw from Fox Business. I was like, what the heck, man? This dude's used to be on TV talking about Fox Business. Next thing I know, I see some Payne come to our seminar stuff. I'm like, hold on, man. Slow down. Slow your roll. All right, let's see what we got here. I don't have after hours. Oh, this is a. Oh, we do have after hours. Oh, whoa. Oh, 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 oh my goodness. About an hour ago, ladies and gentlemen. Um, yeah, yeah, it kicked big time. Wow. Jeez, I'm on. Oh wait, I'm on the 1 day. Hold on. This is futures? I see what you mean. If this is, I don't know if this is the right chart though. That looks like 1 day. Let me go look at this. This doesn't seem right. I don't normally look at these. Let me go see. Wow. Wow. What is this? Let me see. What time is this? Yeah, that's 10:30 Eastern. So that's like 7. Yeah. So this is kicking. Wow. Holy smokes. It almost, so people could have won during the day with the drop off, and then after hours, oh, even another drop, and then a wild swing up. Profit should have taken it. There's no reason to F around with that big swing. And then you could have done some other things. Then another swing up, 6406 to 6416. Wow. 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 Sheesh. And here I am on live. See what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? It's popping all over the place. All right, here we go. Citizen Israel. I don't know why you're doing that, man. Don't do that, man. Welcome again, blacks for Trump 2026. Oh man. Uh, hey, black guy. You know all the positions that black people were in to head government departments? You know he removed them, right? And put in his white friends who weren't even really qualified. Just saying. That's one thing. You know he took all the black people's stuff off the wall that has anything to do with military rankings and things like that. Just saying. You can be for him all you want. You can be a 10 percenter. You can you can back whatever you want, but he ain't backing you. All right, let's go. Let me get myself back on the screen here. All right, let's go. Here we go. Stay true. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Came up in the Facebook feed just now. Thank you so much, man. See, even first, hey, let me ask you guys something. How could you be shadow banned across every social media platform? I don't mean that. I mean Facebook, X, Twitch, YouTube. What else is out there? What's that other one too? Starts with an R. Yeah, I mean, how could Instagram? I mean, how could you be shadow banned from all of these? Joel Nolasco, a real estate investor in the DR, doing big things, owns about 4 properties, real estate outside the Americas. I love it, outside the America, United States. So once again, very happy to see you in the house. Came up in the Facebook feed just now, says stay true. Thank you so much for joining us. And by the way, everybody, make sure you smash that like button, no matter where you're watching from. Because wherever those gods controlling their network, hey, they need to work a little bit to keep us held down. It's all right. Don't worry. We're giving you some information that you need. Again, here's the rules. By the way, I do have to crow a little bit. 3 years ago, well, 2 years and 4 months ago, I told people in 3 years what was going to happen. So the countdown ends December 31st. And you're supposed to have your 775 credit score. How do you do that? You reduce your debt, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, I can't even give out Tracy's email no more because some idiots are trying to spam and scam, and it's being sent to her business thing. And the business guys are like, hey, man, what's happening? I'm like, oh, man, this is crazy. So anyhow, reduce your debt, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, get your credit score to 775. It's easier than ever now. All right? Just do it. Get your debt reduced. Your score will rise. Why? Because I want you guys to join the 3 years for 0% interest. Okay? 3-year credit cards for 36 months. Right now, if you have a good score, you can get zero, and you don't need 775. You just need like a 700, 725. You can get a 0% for 21 months, 0% for 15 months, 0% for 24 months. But later this year, maybe sooner than later, there's going to be 0% for 36 months. And I want you to be able to tap into that because 3 years at 0% where everything you pay is going towards the balance, almost, except for 0.01% or something. But the point I'm trying to make is that's what you want. Because if you can count on whatever you borrowed on your credit, and then all you had to do was pay interest monthly, and there's nothing 100%, well, near 100% goes to your principal, that's a much better option than what they are doing to people now. Interest rates are going up for your credit. If you're holding credit, it's going up. If you don't pay off your previous month's balance, it's going up. All right? Just saying. Just saying. And most people can't pay off previous month's balance because 8 out of 10 of you are watching this. Welcome to the SSN Nation Mission 7845, to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And got ghetto love for Trump. I wish you didn't. Trying to get education at a black college on his submittal for funding, he put in zero, right? But by mandate, Congress already has where you have to give funding to HBCU schools. Yeah, just, I mean, everything is like, I don't know what. He's also talked about getting rid of the 13th Amendment, 14th Amendment as well. But you might want to read what that is, seeing how you're maybe, if you're black, a descendant of slaves, trying to make sure you not be a citizen of the United States, make it a little muddy so he can send to his buddies at the Supreme Court. You might want to check that out too. I'm like, how can that be a friend of mine? Especially when he's, firing my brother in the casinos when he used to run them and telling them when the white boys showed up to get off the floor, we don't want to see you kind of thing. Yeah, I know there's lawsuits. You can look it up too for that. I'm like, I don't know, man. But okay, if you got that love, hey, maybe you live outside of Atlantic City in that effed up ghetto they got it right past the casinos. Maybe they changed it since I've been there. But nonetheless, your life, man. You gotta live with the pedophile, racist draft dodger being your hero. Kevin Globe, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline, Obama did nothing for you. Kevin Globe, what has Trump done for you? Nothing. What has Trump done for any black person? Nothing. Oh, wait, Nicki Minaj with the fake thing. As she gets up there, I love this dude. And then he goes, thank you. But no, it's an honorary citizenship or whatever. Oh, that was classic. Classic Trump. By the way, nothing. Remember that thing that I was talking about going to school at HBCU schools? He gave funding more than Trump's ever going to give in 2 terms. He gave, he tried to give health care for all. And since you don't know the ramifications of the Civil Rights Act, so therefore you can't say I'm doing it for black people because just like Stephen Miller is doing right now, trying to reverse civil rights against black people, using it for white people to say they've been discriminated against because they weren't able to get the job. Do you see how that works? See, so what he did was the very smart thing that any black person should have done, try to outsmart their dumbasses. So what did he do? He tried to outsmart them. He said, I'm going to give you all health care for all. Do you know how many black people actually try to start, have to start small businesses? And the reason you have a problem with hiring is funding. Minority funding is a problem. And you also have a problem when you are trying to hire people and you have no way to compete because you can't give them health care coverage. You're not signed up with the 401k plans. None of that. So he started with the simplest thing. He thought, health care for all. I love people when they say things that make kind of no sense. Um, let's do it another way since we have Google here. Since you have Google, why don't you look up what percentage of black people in America don't have health care coverage? By the way, do you know wealth is only like 4.5% of the black population has only 4.5% of the wealth? You do know that, right? 9 to 10% of black Americans in the United States does not have health insurance coverage. Um, they still are higher uninsured rate compared to, of course, white Americans. Of course. So again, it's also about the Affordable Care Act as well. So just keep that in mind. when you're sitting out here saying he didn't do anything for you. But all I got to say is always, what did Trump do for any black persons? What laws does he pass that helps any black person on any front? He's trying to take away health care. He's trying to take away education. He's trying not to fund even black HBCU schools, even though it's a mandate by Congress, but he's still put in his budget. No, but they obviously had to fund it. It's already, House does it. I mean, I don't know what you're even talking about Obama for. I'm like, what do you, and you give a pass to the Mitch McConnell. How do you have a President Obama come in and Mitch McConnell and the GOP first thing is we're going to try and make him a one-term president. So that means they aren't going to work with him on anything. And he still had to try and work to get some things done. And they minimized everything. So when he said health care for all, it got passed. So what does the GOP states do? They say we're not going to fund. We're not going to allow your exchanges to be on the Affordable Care Act, or the insurance companies. We're going to remove them from our state. So they can't be in the Affordable Care Act, because the more insurance companies there are, the less there's competition. So that means it would bring the cost down. So what do the GOP states do? They take it out. They try to make sure that it has to fail, because you only have, just like what's happening in Florida right now, where there's only a handful of insurance companies, so people are paying high insurance rates. Same thing they were doing that DeSantis did, or hasn't done, basically. The insurance companies left because they got tired of paying the premiums, or whatever, leaving and not paying people's costs to rebuild. So it got reduced to a handful of companies, and they started making rules. You got to have 15 years or younger roof, 15-year-old or newer roof, then we'll insure you. Then they have other steps. So therefore they blocked. So that's why insurance is high for people in Florida. They did the same thing with the Affordable Care Act. Remove the insurance companies. It's not Obama's fault, quite frankly. He tried to do something. He tried to fund the colleges, right? For starters. He did a whole bunch of other things as well. But this thing about giving Trump and the GOP a pass, when they've actually literally not passed one thing to help black people in the last 30, 40 years. 50 years. What are you talking about right now? Those guys are blatantly trying to hurt you with a bunch of things. By the way, you know how how you can have drugs enter into a community? Do you know how you can have weapons enter into a community? I know people aren't this silly, right? You don't have planes. Black people don't have planes. They don't have yachts. They don't have boats. They don't have submarines. So explain how you can get drugs and guns into minority neighborhoods without having to actually get a license for them. They just show up. Explain how this stuff shows up. And please don't tell me you think that it's because there's black people selling drugs in the neighborhood. The connect, they have to have a connect somewhere. You might want to study history. Making all my enemies run. Kamikaze, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And by the way, when you make money as a minority in America, you know what happens? They start going, how? Why? We're trying to hold them down. How did this happen? Must be illegal. All right, making all my enemies run. Exactly, man. Kamikaze, that's how it's been. Got to find out who the enemies are. Can't pretend enemies aren't around you. David Jackson, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings up the tagline, we up. That's right, we up, ladies and gentlemen. We up and awake. We up in the stock market. That's what we're talking about is stock market mayhem tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And it's courtesy of the Trumpster, the draft dodger, doing everything a 10-year-old kid would do to make sure Iran and the Middle East is in utter chaos. And that means you win. But you got to be in the game, ladies and gentlemen. I started this off with, you know what? Candlestick Trading Bible. If you haven't gotten yours yet, make sure you go to stopstrugglingnow.com and get yours. Has anybody seen the trailer? I can't believe this. I changed the trailer 3 times. Nobody's seen a trailer. They're blocking even the trailer now. This is crazy. But anyhow, I put it down as a trailer, but apparently nobody sees it. All right. But just think. This is your time to build wealth, ladies and gentlemen. And you don't have to start with a lot of money if the market is moving how it's moved. Even after hours, the S&P was like, it just skyrocketed on the minute charts, which means you could have been making money at this. Don't miss out. And if you still haven't downloaded a brokerage account, I use CoinX myself. It's simple. They use MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5. That's it. All right. You can't hook up to TradingView because it's not part of the United States system, which I love because I am a big fan of keeping my money out the hands of the United States government or letting the United States government knows where it is. Because after this little fiasco that a 10-year-old would create, they're going to be looking for money and a hell of a lot of it. Because those jets that cost $1 million, $2 million, those bombs that cost $1 million each, that Raptor that cost what, 350 million, somebody told me, all that stuff, the Apache helicopter, another few hundred million. Who's going to be paying for this? This is why those redemptions that we were talking about earlier that hasn't happened. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. In case you're new here and you don't know what country you live in, when things happen, like let's say it's 2007 and it's 2008, 2009, the Great Recession, there's people and since we have social media now, you can just Google. People have had their money stolen out of bank accounts, out of brokerage accounts, out of all kind of things, but they couldn't do anything. You're going to eat it. You can do lawsuits, but all they do is not pay you. So it's no big deal. This is what happens. It only happens to certain people. All right? You don't know what government this is crazy. Jerusalem next. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Man, he says his tagline, born black in this white man's world. There you go. That's exactly the situation. You have a systemic situation in America. And it's not only America. Because think about what's happened with Israel. You got some people who have nerve who are Polish and Russian Jews, allegedly. They get land from the axis of power after World War II. They go Britain, USA, and I don't even know who the third, France or something. But anyhow, 3 countries go, hey man, you guys, we're going to put this Israel, we're going to give them their own land. After Palestine, the only country in the Middle East that allowed those Jews as refugees. Go look it up. So they go, oh yeah, why don't we just give them their own land over here so they can be safe? But they're not the Jews from the Bible. That's why these guys are like, do you want to take a DNA test? Why don't we find out where you're really from? Yeah, no DNA here, fellas. Nah, sorry. It's illegal to do DNA. That's funny stuff right there. All right, born black in this white man. Yeah, we have a systemic system in America. You have a systemic in England, everywhere. And when they want to take over something, they do, and they call it, we're going to liberate you. We're going to make sure citizens have freedom. The same stuff they've been BSing about for 500, 600, 700 years around the world. No difference. They're always scared. This is what's so funny. I don't even understand really. I look at things differently. I'm like, these guys are so scared of somebody else doing something to them that they always do something first and say, see, they were going to do something, so we did it first. I'm like, but they didn't do anything. You're the one saying they're the bad guys. Meanwhile, you're the one killing them. And then when they respond, you go, see? I'm like, this is so pathetic. It's kind of like how the U.S. was born. Go west, young man, into other people's territory. And those other people say, how? Whoa, back up. What are you doing here? We've lived here for centuries, thousands of years. You're on our land. Can you, kind of back up, man? We didn't authorize. And these guys got nerve to go, we don't care. Or how about this? Why don't we enter into a treaty so we can buy some of your land and then you can still have that part that you want and then we can migrate over here. And so they say, okay, man, that sounds good. We get a little money. All right, we can build up our little area. And then the U.S. says, nah, man, we don't go by treaties. We break every treaty. You believe this? Again and again and again and again. So then finally they said, oh, you guys break every treaty, so we don't believe you, Paleface. So now what are we supposed to do, Paleface? You're trying to infringe upon our properties, our land, and acting like it's yours, Paleface. I think we're going to have to battle this one out, Paleface, and we're going to die because we were here thousands of years. Paleface. So, it's funny how things are built. Then they create a system to where Jim Crow, black people live on that side of town. Black people, you can't have school with us. We're smarter than you. Oh, and by the way, that dude from Darwin comes up with 1800. Do you guys know when Darwin was born? Darwin was not born like 00 during Jesus' time. No. Darwin comes up in 1800s from the EU, another true fraud. He tries to sit there and say, oh yeah, man, we're smarter than everybody else. See, the black dude's not that smart. Our brains are bigger and all this other stuff, infiltrating a fraud. So therefore, that allows them, remember, to put in laws to make it seem like you're the monkey. You're the one that's not smart. See, Darwin says. All bullshit. All because they're scared. Because when you know the real history of the world, then you would know the armies from the motherland of Africa. You would know who actually was in North Africa, who actually was in Spain, who actually was in the EU, who actually were kings, queens all over the place. And these guys have been scared for thousands of years. And that's why they have to put laws in to restrict you. And that's why they have to have police for slave catchers. And that's why when the slaves get freed, who got reparations, ladies and gentlemen? Slave holders got reparations, not the slaves. The slaves are let free, no money, no job, clothes on their back, nowhere to stay. No reparations whatsoever to this day. But then, I tell everybody, go look at the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. The definition of American. Please do. It's a funny thing. It doesn't say red colored skin, whatever that is. It doesn't say that. It says copper color skin. American. That's kind of weird in 1828 that they would say that in the Webster's Dictionary. It's not an EU. It's not a EU European. So anyhow, history has been altered. And I suggest everybody go to Europe, Africa, maybe study books from explorers and people, little notes that they wrote down. And you might find some inconsistencies. I love what Trump is doing. I see his end game. Mission 7845, what's his end game? Because the toddler in chief does not have an end game with regard to this war, and he damn sure doesn't have an end game regarding the United States. He's pilfering. You do know he has a Qatar bank account for that little fiasco of kidnapping another leader of another country that was democratically elected. However you want to say yes or no, but I don't believe his lies. But he's taking oil proceeds and putting it into a Qatar bank account, which is illegal. You do know that. You do know he's a pedo, right? You do know he's a rapist too, right? But if you would like to say you see his end game, please let us know what his end game is. Destroying America, because he's on the path to make sure that happens. And if you are a person who believes there's an end game, here's the end game. White supremacy, Jim Crow, you can't vote if you're black or minority or a woman. This is his end game. If that is that the game you're talking about? Going back to like what? 1920? What are we talking about? 1850? What part were you? What end game are you talking about? The end game is he gets billions of dollars in his pocket for him and his friends. He doesn't give a damn about you. You got health care for all? No. Are you going to have health care at all? If you leave it to him, no. Because he's already got his ICE force out arresting brown people and black people and killing people that are citizens. And you think that somehow he has an end game. Please enlighten us all what this end game is, because I don't see it, because he's destroying financial markets. He's destroying our supply chains around the world. He's antagonized our allies. He's helped our enemies, and our enemies don't care about us, which is the funniest thing. You're helping Russia, helping China, helping North Korea, helping these weak ass countries, El Salvador and Argentina, because you like how they are, and he's taking our money and giving it to them. $40 billion to Argentina. Meanwhile, our farmers are going broke. All-time record high with bankruptcies. And then he has nerve to say he's sending $40 billion down to Argentina to help them. And then he tells the farmers, I'm going to give you $12 billion to help you after I started the tariff war. And by the way, China orders their soybeans and farm goods now from, drumroll, Argentina. That doesn't seem like America anything to me. That seems like a traitor to me, if you ask me. I guess it's perceptions. I don't see how a president sends money to another country to save their ass, and then that same country gets our farmers' business. And now our farmers are in trouble, and he's got nerve to tell us, after taxpayers paid $40 billion now we're going to bail out our farmers. But our farmers lost their farms. What end game are you talking about? Kamikaze, welcome again. Puffy, about to be free soon. Yeah, rich guy, 5 years. All these degenerates get out early. It's weird. When you're rich, you get out early. If you're not rich, 20 to life. Yeah, he only had like 5 years. And then if you do an appeal and all this stuff and you have a little bit of money, then he already sat there for what, 2 years, right? 2 or 2.5 years. So yeah, he would be out in less than a year probably, or sooner. After you can, hey, there's maneuvers you can do when you have a lot of money to spend for courts and lawyers. And that's how court system works, unfortunately. And since 8 out of 10 people live paycheck to paycheck, and you get pulled over by the cops and they're sitting back there after they take your driver's license, and you're thinking, what are they taking so long for? Yeah. You might want to start getting up to the game. They're looking at your assets, they're looking at your bank accounts, they're looking at your stuff. So when they try to jack you and mess around with your civil rights and all that, they're trying to figure out, does this guy have capabilities of suing our sorry asses? That's literally what it is. Dominican women are feisty, Mr. Overtime Wayne. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. That's right, real estate investing in the DR. You got to be very careful. Dominican women are feisty for a reason, especially if you're a tourist. They're feisty for a reason. You will get arrested. All they have to do is say things such as, he owes me money, and you will be hemmed up. Because it's illegal over there to say, a woman to say, he owes me money for sex. So yeah, they're feisty. If you're not from there, you're going to have a problem. Beware. Okay? So that's a PSA. Thank you so much for that, Mr. Overtime Wayne. All right, tomorrow's big news in the stock market. YOLO, them accounts, the world above. I like that, man. Stock market trading mayhem, ladies and gentlemen. We got to be in it. You have to be in it. By the way, let me go check something right now. Let me go check something right now. Let me see if anything has changed. Wealth inequality in America. Wealth distribution in the U.S. Let's not use America. I'll do this. Okay, here we go. Wealth distribution in the U.S. is highly concentrated with the top 10% of households holding over 2/3, roughly 67 to 72% of the nation's wealth. You guys don't know what the 1% own, do you? Do you? Check it out. As of 2025, the top 1% holds approximately 31.7% of all wealth, roughly equal to the bottom 90% combined. Okay, hopefully I didn't speak too loud. But did you guys hear that right now? This is what I've been talking about for years. The top 1% own 93% of the stock market. Just saying. Sorry. It's top 10% owns 93% of the stock market. Top 1% owns 90% of the wealth. Top 10% owns 7, well, they already said it, 60 to 72% of the wealth. It's 70% in some circles that I've watched. Can you believe that? How about 10 billionaires own more than 50% of the wealth in America? How do you like that, ladies and gentlemen? I don't think you should like those stats. Bottom 50% held only 2.5% of the wealth. You got that? Bottom 50% held only 2.5% of the wealth. And by the way, white households hold 84.2% of U.S. wealth, while black families, who make up 11% of households, only 3.4%. Ooh, that's even worse. It was up to 4.5. Approximately 1 in 5 white households are millionaires, compared to 1 in 20 black households. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, just so everybody understands, equal opportunity employer, Asians and Latinos have more wealth than black people. Crazy, right? Just saying. Okay. Higher education levels are strongly correlated with greater wealth accumulation, often driven by higher income and ownership of appreciated assets. So if I'm trying to keep somebody down or a certain segment of the population down, what would I do? I would disband the Department of Education. Since my race, the white guys, Trump guys, own 84% of the wealth in all of America. And so one of the keys that would allow someone that's in a lower class, you could go to education. And that generally would have led to a higher job wage. And so, therefore, what would you do if you're against minorities? I'm going to get rid of the Department of Education. I'm going to make sure you can't get no education, right? I'm going to make sure you have to pay for it, even though I know you only own 3.4, or it's actually should be 4.5. But even though I know you only own 4.5% of the wealth, there's no way I'm going to let you guys get up off the mat. So I'm going to press my foot on your neck. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to get rid of Department of Education. I'm going to make sure you're going to have to pay for it. And I'm going to make sure you're going to have to pay more for it. Because I know you only have 3 to 4.5% of the wealth. So you really can't afford it. So I got to get rid of them Pell Grants. I got to get rid of the HBCU funding. I got to stop all that. You guys getting the game plan yet? Do you know what country you live in yet? Come on now, ladies and gentlemen. Stop out here playing, okay? Get with the program. Welcome, FERT 8740 to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. He wrote 100 for something. I don't know what it was because I've been on here. He's sent that an hour ago. Okay, it's not match the live or make money. It's why they make multiple monitors. Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly what he's referring to. We were talking about the S&P 500 that popped off. Actually, all of them popped off. The Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the Nasdaq popped off after hours. And he's exactly right. There is a reason people would have more than 3 monitors. You've seen people with like 6 monitors. There's a reason. Because they might want to be watching 6 different charts. They might want to see signals pop up on their screen. They might want to be involved because they don't want to miss out on. There's something happening at 9:30 when the market opens. Another one happens at 9:45, a delay. Another one happens at 10:30. And then within that hour, these guys are able to make money based on all these different screens because they can make trades. But that's a whole nother story, a whole nother day, because you would have to be in the advanced category. And that means you should start studying now. Get your Candlestick Trading Bible first. Watch videos. They're all over YouTube. And they're all over YouTube because somebody's selling a course as well. But all I'm saying is study. However you study, whatever your method of studying is, you should study, and you should have a brokerage account so you can use their demo account so you can actually look at charts and mark your charts up however you determine that it's going to make you successful. A lot of people trade a lot of different ways. But he's exactly right. That's why they have the monitors up. Many of them. All right, here we go. So you like Asia, London, or U.S. session for trading, Eric? Any one of them? No, I'm not messing with the Asian market. I've only messed with the London and U.S. sessions. That's it. All right. So, for quite frankly, there's things that happen even in the Asian market late night. All of them, something happens. And in this scenario, things happen all the time across because of the war. That's why we're in a timeline for the last 4 weeks. That is one of the most awesome ones for ordinary citizens, because it's not going to be based on your wealth right now if you know how to trade, even if you just trade with a small amount. I mean, it could be 500, which I would not advise, but I'm just saying it could be 1,000, it could be 2,000, it could be 3,000, but just remember money management. But I like the London session. Let's change this up. I would pay attention right now to the Asian markets. Then it goes into the London market. The London market, depending on what you're doing, it spikes, and then it same things happen. But the U.S. market is where it's at. That's like the most volatile one. Even though the Asian markets are kind of a little volatile depending on what you're actually trading. I usually do gold, XAU, USD, and you'll see crazy things, right? Even the AG silver, SP1 futures, you'll see crazy things. So it doesn't really matter, but I would stay with US market if you're on the US time zone. If you're up and you go, okay, let me see what's happening in the Asian market. And if you're up for the London market when it opens at late night, I'm in the Pacific zone right now, so it makes it nice. But if you're in the Eastern zone, then you'll be up late night, right? 11, 12, 1, but they have pre a little. So, and they're volatile too, especially when there's news coming out and what's happening right now. So, once again, you know what? Let me go check something right now. Let me go look at something. Let me do something in the background now that you're talking about that. But no, I like London and US only because I can see the Asian market when I'm in the Pacific time zone. And sometimes it's good to trade because the candles and the markups come up fine. Just like when the gold and silver was rising, the Asian markets, gold and silver was higher. So they were more volatile than even America. They were just going up. That was crazy. Meanwhile, it would come back to the US market that had a lower amount. It was crazy. So again, it's good to, depending on your time zone, you can infiltrate all three at a certain set. But the US stock market in this scenario is off the charts, just to say. Yeah, see, like right right now, let's see what time it. Yeah, the Asian markets. It. I'm looking at the gold XAU USD right now, and yeah, there was a nice little rise on the gold from 44.99 up to 46.16. It looks like. Yeah, so could have made money as while I'm sitting here, right? So again, don't lock yourself in. If it's in your time zone and you want to trade, you should be looking at some things. Doesn't matter. So yeah, nothing happening there. Nothing else happening. Nasdaq. Nothing. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah. Nasdaq had a nice little move up. Wow. Yeah, late night. Nice little move up. Wow, significant. Let me see. It started roughly 22.8. Yeah, 22.8 to 20. Another entry point would have been 22.850. Yeah, you could have ran this up to 23.185, 23.221s, it looks like. So, yeah, man. Let me see. It's 10:47. So, yeah, London's not open yet. So, even during the Asian market and overnight markets, because remember, you still have overnight, right, in the US futures. So, just keep that in mind. All right. Bitcoin. Bitcoin had an upswing tonight as well. So, once again, there was opportunities galore if you're trading. All right, instead of listening to me. Just saying. All right, hopefully that helped y'all. Kevin Globe, citizen Jamesman Crockett did all that campaigning for immigrants and they voted for the other guy. LOL. Yeah, 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 yeah. They're in Texas, man. Again, do you know what country you live in? Just saying. You know the state of Texas? You come on now. You know about the they sent people to the wrong precincts and they stopped the voting and judges said, "Hey, you got to allow these people to vote." Then the guy that's running in the election, Paxson, the attorney general, calls up another judge and says, "Hey, put the kibosh on that 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. voting." Crazy and wild stuff which should never happen. But hey, it's Texas. They put in the that's the predecessor to the November elections. They figured they might as well try it, and it worked. So they had some, crazy stuff going on. People are going to the same precinct, and then they took away people off the voting rolls, and all kind of mayhem. They already were practicing for November. Crazy, but it doesn't matter if she lost. You still have Tallarico, who's a mid-major. Larry Wilcox, XOS, man, I will never be a Democrat again. Hey, man, I don't know what to tell you. It has nothing to do with well, if you want to look at the party, I'm looking at the policies, really. Like I said, I want health care for all. I want Social Security covered. I don't want ICE running around taking care of citizens and killing them. I don't care who they are. I don't want DEI to represent where you can put in dumbasses like Trump has in his administration who are not qualified and call them qualified. How do I even have what was the guy, the head of DHS? Never done nothing. Never has been in no law enforcement, no nothing, but just pluck them out of thin air and say, oh, yeah, you got the job. Welcome to Jim Crow. That's what that's like. I mean, this is absurd. So, world above, what war did Obama and Clinton get us into? Please let me know. Hold on. You know what? Okay, hold on. Obama and Clinton get USA. You mean Desert Storm? You don't mean that because that's Bush 1. Let's see. Let's see what they say. Let's see. And Afghanistan and all that stuff was already running. What war? It says 1999 Kosovo bombing campaign. Um, Weird. The Obama thing hasn't come up. Obama inherited wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, so you're wrong about the Obama thing. You could be, I guess you have to be right about Bosnia, Kosovo, NATO. Oh, it was NATO. Yeah, okay. U.S. didn't just go in with some buddies of theirs. It was a NATO strikes with Clinton apparently on Kosovo and Bosnia. So I guess you're right if you count that. Um, I, I, so no, I don't know what wars you're talking about actually, but according to this, the Bosnia Clinton ordered NATO airstrikes, Operation Deliberate Force, leading to the Dayton Peace Accords to end the Bosnian War, if that's what you mean. That was in 1995, and the Bosnian War and all that started before he showed up. Kosovo is part of this. NATO conducted massive bombing campaign against Yugoslavia to stop ethnic cleansing of Albanians, known as Operation Allied Force. Okay, whether that's true or not, who knows? But yeah, there were some interventions on NATO's behalf, and I'm sure approved by Congress. Okay, nice. Whatever. So, see, somebody's giving you misinformation, apparently. All right, let's go. Obama killed Gaddafi, who was for black people. Uh, I don't know, man. Why are you saying that? You are right. Obama did kill Gaddafi, but what are you talking about? I don't understand. Is this now you're gonna be clutch your pearls after the United States has you has taken out Haiti leaders, Grenada leaders? What are you talking about right now, man? Blamed the fake war on Iraq, the 9/11, and they took out Saddam Hussein, who was a friend of the United States at one time because they were fighting against Iran. So now you're going to talk to me about Gaddafi. Nice. But you are right. That was a damn shame, quite frankly. That is one that I really don't like that Obama did, considering what their rhetoric. See, again, the United States doing this. See, he's going to do this. He's going to do that. This other country's going to do this and that. Well, take your dictators as you like. Oh, by the way, I don't know what you mean Gaddafi's for black people, but You remember, he's in Africa. What do you mean? Um, he should be. He was trying to get the African leaders to follow. Let's get real. So if that's what you mean, oh, I wanted to. Yeah, he wanted the own currency. He wanted the currency and all that stuff, right? And here's the thing: free school, free college. They had money coming in. That's where the problem came in. It wasn't so much he was like this dictator type leader. This was the dude that was telling other African nations, man, why are we effing around? Why don't we have our own currency? Why don't we keep our own oil? Well, let's fight for all that. And they're like, hold up. And then they're like, wait a minute, this guy's actually helping his citizens from that oil and stuff that he's keeping over there. We better do something. Let's go see what they say. Muammar Gaddafi sought to lead a unified, powerful African continent by championing Pan-Africanism, founding the African Union, advocating for a single African currency, central bank, and military. Now do you understand why the United States and the rest of the world is like, no? And that's, I do have to blame Obama, because I'm like, dude, what were you doing? But that still doesn't mean I'm going to vote for the GOP that's backed by the KKK and wants to get us back to Jim Crow and try to take away our civil rights. Have you lost your, man? Come on. But yeah, man, that was one black mark for taking out Gaddafi. And first of all, remember, he's agreeing to this BS, which is the worst part. That's the worst part about it. He agreed. I'm like, he should have been like, nah, man. Nah, this dude's trying to. But see, it's a double-edged sword. United States can't allow African nations to have their own currency, to have their own military, because then all them oil, the diamonds, all the motherland that has everything would be under their control. And it would be a shame if they got their fair value instead of us going over there to steal it. Right? So yeah, I agree with you on that. That was a huge black mark as far as I'm concerned. He should not have even entertained it. He should have said, first of all, he talked to Gaddafi, which that's the other thing. I just don't understand why he did it, but you're right. I have to say what it is. You have to call a spade a spade. I agree with you on this, Larry Will XO. He was not for black people in America. Let's just stop with that. But he was for the black people in Africa, the African nations. And remember, a lot of African nations still don't, we're not like African, right? But nonetheless, I won't get into the little weeds, but I'm saying I agree with you regarding this Gaddafi thing. Listening to them, his you know who, his buddies. Boomers are stuck on a Democrat plantation. TC, there's no Democrat plantation. You can't be stuck on a location that gives people civil rights, that gets people out of Jim Crow. Yeah, some people might be stuck on that plantation because the Democrats are the ones that got you out of civil rights, who got you civil rights and out of Jim Crow, and who got you equal opportunity, who got you the other things, so you would at least have an equal chance, so you can at least get hired for an interview, because otherwise you're on Jim Crow. You're in Jim Crow right now. Trump is doing Jim Crow. What are you talking about? You're trying to be on GOP plantation? They want you to go back to a plantation. What are you talking about right now? They're trying to make all the laws to actually violate your civil rights. They've already done it. They're making sure that they can police you anywhere, anytime, any place, just like it's 1945. They're making sure that they're calling you DEI, so they don't have to hire you, even though you're more qualified than the plumber that just got hired for DHS, who has no history of anything that would make him the head of DHS. But yet he takes out black people who are in the administration from previous presidents, because he wants his dumbass white dudes who are unqualified to have the position. This is what Jim Crow is, man. What are you talking about, You're on the plantation trying to take us back. You're on the GOP plantation. Stop, man. What are you talking about right now? Do you even know what you're talking about? I mean, geez, do you know history? Basically, the KKK backs the GOP party. The KKK was in the southern states at the time that was under Democrats. Dixie Democrats were running the red states back in the day. So now, explain how GOP is running with the Confederacy flag and the KKK backs them. Clearly, something changed. So, what plantation are you trying to stay on? The Jim Crow era plantation? You should live under Jim Crow. I wish you would. Because make sure, like I always say, make sure when you're walking down the street, don't look me in the eye, boy. What you doing on the sidewalk, boy? Come on, man. Like I said, all you clowns out here that's talking that garbage, I'd love to see your ass when the Night Riders rolled up to your pad in the middle of the night, knocking on your door with their hoods. I'm sure right now you'd be like the brave one, right? Oh no, sorry. You're gonna be like, yes, I'm master. Yep. What? Hold. Yeah, you right, man. That's what kills me about this plantation talk. I'm like, man, you better chill with the plantation talk if you're a black person, because the only person trying to go back to plantation is the GOP party's trying to take you right back to a real plantation. You know them farms that's empty right now? You know what Trump said? We got workers. You know which population is the most represented in the prisons? You know the GOP versus Democrats. Like for instance, Biden's in office, and they say, "Hey man, why don't we have a database so we know all the bad cops that's been framing people, killing people? We should have a database about all this stuff." You know who took the database away? GOP with the quickness, as soon as they got back in power. I don't know what plantation you on, man, but you can stay on it. You can be one of the 10%ers. That's fine. But you in the wrong location talking to me about plantations. Because again, I was fortunate enough to see Jim Crow with my own eyes. I saw what it did to minorities, black people. They couldn't have no fight. They had no fight. They were like, what you doing, man? You can't talk to them white people like that, man. You don't know what, hey, we scared. We know our place. What do you mean your place? They were used to separate beaches, black beach, white beach. They were used to being called the N-word. They were used to stepping off the sidewalk. They were used to not looking, talking to the white dudes and saying, "What you doing?" They were used to all that, man. That's you. That's your plantation. You want to go back to? You can have at it. I'm not the one. Judah Barak. I love Eric, but I ain't with nothing G the left does. Why not Judah Barak? What do you mean nothing with the left does? You don't like healthcare for all? What are you talking about? You don't like civil rights? What you talking about? You don't like a good paying job? Livable wage job? What are you talking about? You don't want to pay less taxes? What are you talking about? I mean, I don't hear any GOP doing any of those. You don't want funding for the HBCU schools? I mean, what do you mean? You don't want education? You don't want education for our kids? You don't want childcare for our kids? What do you mean? Well, I'll put it this way. I shouldn't put it on myself. Why don't you tell me what you like about the GOP party? That's maybe the better question. Okay, Joshua Tree says me either. Why don't you guys tell me what you like about the GOP, what policies they have for you that you love? Why don't you just tell me? I'm not complaining if they pumping it up or not. They can drop it now. I need another huge candle before I fall asleep. Man, come on. You know what's going to happen tomorrow. Come on, there's going to be another huge candle tomorrow. Don't worry about it, MDA0214, man. Come on, stop being greedy out here. Go on and take your profits and go to sleep with a smile on your face. Come on, man. Come on, stop. Let me see what's been happening while we're talking. You mean no, it had to, after it popped up like it did, it's going to have to do the sideways trend, right? Hold on, I can actually go look myself right. Yeah, it's going sideways. It's consolidating. I'm talking about Bitcoin. Let me see what the Nasdaq's doing. Yep, consolidating. Let me go with the US 30. The top 30 stocks is what I'm looking at. It's consolidating. It's been consolidating for the last uh, 2 hours. Yep. You ain't getting no, there's no other candles, man. I'm looking at it live right now. There's no other candles. So sorry to see that, right? There's no other candles here. I have Bitcoin. People could have made money after hours, which also would have been the Asian markets, by the way. Um, the NASDAQ futures could have been making money up until like 1:30, up until 10:30. Well, no, that would have been about the end of it, 10:30 ish. After that, it's the big candle. I don't expect a big candle, man, unless there's some news of something. Yeah, it consolidated, consolidates. I have a candle. I have the sideways, as I call it, that shows me the activity for where people have bought, and this definitely is consolidating right along the line. So they're all consolidating. Well, if you were nah, that's not big enough. Silver it rose for a minute, but now it's coming back down. Yeah, yeah. There's no big candles, man. Not on the. I don't know if you're doing. I don't have. Let's see. I don't have the Dow chart, but anyhow, man, it's not. It's hey, you gotta go to sleep, man. Money management. That's what we gotta talk about, MGA. You know better than this. Go on and go to bed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna have to wrap this up because I'm gonna get into some political stuff, and I'm already shadow banned. Interesting. Tay, there you go. Okay, get into the trading game, ladies and gentlemen. You would have been able to kick behind today, last week. This. I'm a big proponent of CoinX because load up your crypto, yes. The time for you, it's fine, but all right. And I'm gonna put that information in these links. get that. But the keyword I just said doesn't have your name on it. True, like black card. Care about that because that's not my focus. But yes, you can make money. And then if you have that are cut for the riches. Just saying. So please let me know what you guys are rocking with these guys. I want to hear about it. All right? I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it a lot. Let's go. Larry Will, XO. Let's go, man. I'm thinking, I thought the XO might have been military. Like I said, I'm a military brat. I don't know how. I just have a problem. I'm not rocking with the draft dodgers sending over people to go die. I have a problem with that. Biznessa, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And the seamless genius is what she's known by, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, boss and SSN fam, happy Monday. Happy Monday to you. And by the way, we're on week 4 with earn 8% a week. And another $8.64 was put into my account for the $108 I loaded up a month ago. Every Saturday, I get my $8.64. No, I haven't uploaded another $108, which I wanted to, but I've been busy. We're out here trying to save lives. I swear, it's a daunting task. Mo Better is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Very happy to see you here. What's up, E? What's up, SSN Nation? We in the building and trying to build generational wealth. Booyah! That's what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody can do it. Nobody's stopping you. No barriers to entry. It's all based on your skill set. If you want to learn how to make money on your own via trading, nobody can stop you. That's right. Notice the key word. Nobody can stop you, and nobody's coming to save you. So you might as well learn another skill set that you can make money at, and it's very hard. Don't get me wrong. This is not easy. Even if you study, it's not easy. But when you have days like this, weeks like this is the time that you can make your money, ladies and gentlemen. So you got to be in the game. He says he smashed that like button on the way in. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate that support. Now, I got so many things. Yikes. Y'all are talking politics, business. Hey, I had to. We had some people that says they ain't rocking. They said they ain't rocking with the they called it my Democrat plantation. I hate racial divides. There are good and bad in all races. Actually, yeah, that's the thing. That is the thing right there. But portraying one race more evil than another, when one race is the most evilest on the planet, that takes a lot of cojones. And unfortunately, you have the minorities agreeing with their assessment. And I'm like, every place you guys ever been, you've taken over. You never showed up in goodwill or good faith. You always killed, maimed, kidnapped, enslaved. There's no place that you didn't. None. I'm just saying. I'm sorry. Come on, let's get real. United States is real. United States, you know how many places they've run around the world acting like traitors? Like terrorists? Think about it. How many places have they said they need to liberate? From Asia to Africa to the Middle East. I mean, the whole planet is their freaking kill zone. And they got nerve to tell everybody else you're the problem after they attacked you, after they stole your stuff. Okay, I won't get into it. But yeah, the only reason there's a racial divide is because we live in America. Look, when I lived in Puerto Rico, that was the biggest eye-opener ever. The Puerto Ricans, it's a territory of the United States. They viewed themselves as Puerto Rican. They didn't even view themselves as American. Because they can't vote, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. U.S. territories can't vote in the general election for president. They're citizens of the United States, but America says, oh, no, you can't vote for a president. And by the way, you're going to be under our thumb. By the way, if you're in Puerto Rico, I hope you guys are taking advantage of the 90-day Jones Act. Go look up the Jones Act, ladies and gentlemen. See how they keep our territories under their thumb, making our territories, who are not financially independent really, to have to use U.S. vessels only come into their port and ship and receive their goods. Yeah, but for 90 days, Trump has suspended the Jones Act, meaning you can make deals with other countries for probably now another 75 days. You've let 2 weeks slip off American Samoa, Puerto Rico, American Virgin Islands. Come on now. Make use of this. This is your opportunity to make some deals with Hong Kong. Get your stuff in there, man. Cheap stuff. Bypass the U.S. like the Dominican Republic gets to. Come on now. Just, just like Mexico gets to. Come on now. Let's go. All right, I get excited when the United States messes up. But yeah, that racial divide is because you live in America. When I live outside of America, right? And you go around the world, it's kind of funny. There's certain things that happen. People usually greet you, how you doing, what's happening, what's going on, but that's not 100% everywhere. But all I'm saying is generally it's like, what's up? What's happening? No problems. But you know when I do get a problem? As soon as I come back to America, it's in your face, straight up, that there is a racial situation. Outside, it's like everybody's kind of gets along in their own little, hey, no problem. But as soon as I come back to America, it's straight up. Straight up, because of the perceptions plus all this illiterate nonsense and ignorance. It's bad. But again, I don't operate like that. I give everybody a fair shake. I don't really care who you are. Because how it always works out is like Biz Nessa says. There's good people, there's bad people, no matter which side of the color spectrum you're on. So, I just try to get along with everybody until we can't. All right, Mo Better says, Biz Nessa, hey. All right, the Seamless Genius has been working on something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm waiting to hear if it's going to go through or not. Mo Better, what's good, fam? I love it. We're back in the house. Last minute, you don't have to start with a lot of money. Trade with limited resources and let me know how that play out. Hey, you don't. But hey, I'm just going by. Hey, there's people that have started with, well, I don't even want to say, but people are claiming they started with like $100. But see, they might have been trading like an option or something. Who knows? But the point is, there's people that claim that they didn't spend that much to start. So I'm just saying. All right, Mo Better. Business, I agree. Yeah. When you live in certain locations, you're not tripping. It's when you live in, oh man, why you guys? When I go to red states and you go hang out, there's a difference. When you're a person of color hanging out in those red states. Yeah. Yeah, there's just weird stuff. PRT, what's up, buddy? Mo Better. Post-retirement travel. That's who he's referring to. Ethereum, says Mo Better. Hey, man, Ethereum, Bitcoin, I don't really care which one. Oh, he's got Bitcoin, too. He's got JEPQ. I like that, too. You know that. In fact, anybody who's here, the JEPQ, you know what that is? That is a JP Morgan fund. Generally, oh, my, wait a minute. Since he said that, let me go check something out. That might have dropped below. Could that have dropped below 58? Yes, it's back to 53, which means we should be at 11.5 to 12% dividend if you buy at $53.77. Oh my. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a good fund, JEPQ. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So if you want something that is with JP Morgan, this is the one. 11.5 to, in fact, let me go see right now. Why don't I just look it up? At 53.77 JEPQ. Whoa. What is the dividend and yield? Should be around 11.5 to 12. Might be 11.5. Yes, it's says 11.39%, 2.47% based on $53.97. It's $16 a share, trailing 12-month annual payout. Yeah, 11.5, because 53 is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen, for 11.5. And if this thing goes to 51, 52, that means you're going to be at 12. And holding a JP Morgan fund at 12% yield, that is powerful stuff right there. I love it. Thank you, Mo. Throwing out some gems for late night after the 2 hour and 21 minutes we've been doing this. JPI, that means it's probably up to 9% by now. Let's see what their stock price is. We'll get to that in a second. It's going to be slightly lower, trailing. It says 7. It took my one as an eye, so it doesn't matter. JEPI. Let's go see what they're doing right now. It's generally a little less, but I guess it may be even a little more. $4.76. So yeah, it's not down to $47. That's for sure. So it's always a little low. It says 8.5 to 8.6%. So we're not at 9 yet, but that means it's pretty good. I like this. Very good information. $55. Yeah, it's not down to 53 or 54 yet, which is weird. But nonetheless, there you go. Nice gems. SCHD. All right. You've been listening to Post Retirement Travel. That's one of his favorites. So he goes with the dividends, the ETFs, SPY, QQQ, SCHD. Yep. That's MicroStrategy. MSTR, BMNR. I'm not familiar with BMNR. MicroStrategy, isn't that strategy now? Yeah. Is that Berkshire? No, that's not Berkshire. That's Bitmine, Emerson Technologies. Don't know about this one. Even in by finance, so that's not it. If you're talking about BMNR. Um, Year to date, no. Negative 41% year to date. That's interesting. Gonna have to study, ladies and gentlemen. Do your own research on these. He's giving you out some things at Mo Better. Doing great, Mo. Buying a second property in Capcana, buddy. Hey, me and Mo were talking about it. Sometimes you have to play the luxury game too. You know you always have to play the upscale luxury game. New project called Porto Navio to be done mid 2029. Bring it, buddy. All right. Post retirement travel. He's going out on a limb, I believe. This is what I believe. I'm not going to be around 4 years from now. Let's just so 3 years. Well, wait a minute. It's only three. I won't because I was supposed to retire. I believe it was like next year or this year. I can't remember now, but it was one of these years. It was either this year June or next year June. It must have been next year because our countdown hasn't stopped yet. So, okay, 2029. I think we're going to have a recessionary situation starting sometime in the next 5 6 months. It's going to get worse and full blown like 2027. So I think that traditionally means housing markets go down around the world. People are trying to save their money and survive. I mean, the United States and Canada are the buyers for properties in this hemisphere, right? You have a few buyers from outside of this area, but the majority are like Canada and USA. Both of these countries have a problem because 80% of their population is living paycheck to paycheck, and in Canada it's 85%. So they're already ahead of us, and that's going to get worse. So that means just what happened in 2008 with the DR was actually on an upside 2006, 2007, and then when we had our Great Recession, their real estate market went down. And I have a feeling that's the same thing. So I advise everybody right now, you might as well just wait. There's no reason to do pre-construction right now because there's already deals in the background where people are trying to off their units. And only certain developers will allow people to swap the name out under prepayment plan or a monthly payment plan. So that's where the whole thing goes. There's already people like at River Island, Atlanta, and other locations, Jardines, and all these guys. They're like, hey man, $10,000. In fact, I sent Mo something. There was something in Cap Cana where somebody was like, a developer was like $10,000 off for some property there. And I was like, this is what I expect to happen over the next few years. There should be some deals to be had. But the question is, what happens on the other side? Will people return over there after momentum is lost? There's a difference between people renting, going to the island, and people who are actually looking to invest. Those are two separate entities. They're the same on an upside, but when there's a downside, people who are visiting aren't really trying to invest because there's no real incentive. If property values are stagnant or go down, people are like, well, whatever. If property values are going up, appreciating like they have been over the last 6 years, then people still would be a little more excited to say, well, let me get in now because the appreciation is going to rise. Cap Cana is what he's talking about, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, Porto Navio has a website. I think it's portonavio.com. And one bedrooms are like $350, even though I think he bought his for less. But they're like $350K and up to $2.5 million in Cap Cana. Upscale luxury location is Cap Cana, by the way. They have everything there. They have the land, and they are doing a great residential build out for that. It's outside of Punta Cana, but they're creating a city out there, and they have the land to do it. They have, I don't know, I think it's 33,000 acres, or I don't know if it's acres or hectares or something. They got a lot of land. It's out of control, quite frankly. So they can build their own city, and that's what they're doing. And they're making it upscale luxury. And by the way, if you ever buy, okay, if there's a housing crash, I would advise, if you can buy a house in a little more upscale luxury location for 30-40% off, I would advise you to do that, because when the markets come back, upscale luxury properties appreciate faster and more. So I'll give you an example. I used to live in a place that during the 2008 and 9, the 4,000 square foot house was only $500,000. That's what it went down to. Now, I'm going to fast forward. We're going to go almost, well, it's a long time, but let's just go 18 years. The house is 1.6, 1.7 now. That's a huge difference, right? So if you go back 5 years ago, you do 1 million. But here's the thing. That same house that people bought for 200,000, that house is only about 600,000, 700,000 maybe, if they're lucky. So that's the differences. There's a difference on appreciation. Those same houses, that same house is only like six. Actually, I got friends. Let me see. They got a house for like 170, and their house is worth 430 right now because they're gonna have to sell it. That's it. That's it. And they got their house in 2009. So during that same appreciation time, you can see the difference. Somebody's only going to have two 300,000 roughly, a little less than that, 250,000 of equity, and another person has over 1 million. See, that's why you always try to have something in upscale luxury location. So if you can identify upscale luxury and you can identify it early, this is why it seems reprehensible to buy a one bedroom for 350,000, 400,000 in Cap Cana, right? It would seem like that. But in 10 years, that thing could be like 800,000, 900,000, like it's Miami. Because that's what's happened, kind of. All right, a one bedroom used to be the lowest in 2020 was 135 because I was trying to get one. That one bedroom now, I guess, is worth 300 G's. But a one bedroom in at the inside Vista Cana for 89 grand at Panorama Lake, you can't really sell that no more than about 150 maybe. So you can see already in Cap Cana, I could have paid 50,000 more, but my one bedroom would be closer to 300,000 than it would be to 150,000. So that difference is significant. So that's why I always advise upscale luxury for real estate if you can. So let's get some tricks, right? Let's get some other tricks. I see I got so many messages left. Stop struggling now. Okay, we got some stream view. People are trying to get me views. I don't really care about those artificial views. Appreciate it. All right, PRT, I heard. Congratulations, you deserve it, and I agree. The luxury market in Cap Cana is about to explode. There's another thing I will say about upscale luxury, and that's why I can't. The problem that I have with Cap Cana is I don't really like what they do because I don't value golf courses. They're trying to put in a fourth golf course, I believe. I don't value a water park when I'm already on an island. They got a water park. Okay, cool, but I got to pay to go use it, so there's no real, I can go pay at water parks anywhere, so that's not a big deal. 5-star luxury upscale hotels, that's how you keep the upscale luxury feel. You have some of the top beaches, but again, there's beaches, you're on an island. So it's personal, and unfortunately that has a bias, but I still have to say it's upscale luxury. Mo believes, I saw the rendering for the project. You're right in front of the docks, and you got the views. One bedroom unit in threes for that area is a steal. See, Mo is on the side that it's a steal. He's more he's like post-retirement travel, and the thing is, they're selling in that same complex that PRT has. They're selling $2.5 million units. So that means you could have a push upward. You only have a push upward as long as the economy is in your favor. So over the next basically 1 year to 2 years or 3 years, there's so much turmoil that we don't know what can happen. And that's where I think the deals are going to come in. So I don't see why I need to sign up right now. March has tested investors. Exactly. NASCAR all out. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Thank you so much for that. You got that right. I don't know if you're calling it tested. I don't see how it can test you when it's on a downward cycle. I mean, it's almost like you can wait, and then you can wait for some news, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, we have a deal. We have a ceasefire. Markets. No, we don't. I mean, this timeline is like you can just sit and wait. Just like after hours, you're sitting there waiting like this is going to go up because they can't have this L, and it's already going to start off the week with another L. And like right now, it's slowly coming back down on the gold silver market. And we're still kind of consolidating on the silver market, on the gold market, and we're consolidating on the top 30 U.S. stocks. NASDAQ is slowly tilting towards the downside. The candles, it's kind of showing that it's going to stay within a range, but is what it is. Bitcoin, let's see. Yeah, it's trending slightly down. So, I mean, it looks like that was just for the after effect. And then depends on what's in the store tonight, right? That's what it is. But that's beautiful. It's testing everybody right now. MDA0214, you need to go to Anton Daniels' page and debate him. I'll grow your page too. It'll grow your page too. What is he like, Trump guy or what? I don't even know what dude talks about. I've heard about this Anton Daniels. I've seen he wears glasses. I seen him, and I saw there was some controversy with somebody. I don't know who it was, but I didn't really pay attention. You know, I don't really like controversy that much. But then if I got to debate somebody for real, then I got to hone up so I can just pop off on my stuff. I can't be just. Hold on, I saw Biznessa. Here we go, Biznessa. No sound, boss. Everyone have a good evening, good night. Okay, yeah, I did lose the sound for a minute. Load up on treasury bills. I don't know about that, man. I don't like that. Trump loaded up on treasury bills. Just so everybody knows. All right, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to wrap this up. It's 2 hours and 38 minutes. I'm getting a little hungry. Oh, I forgot my drink, my icicle drink from a place. Well, I better not say. But once again, this has been a thrilling Money Making Monday live stream. A lot of great things that we talked about. And obviously, when we get a little bit into the political spectrum, you know what it is. We got to talk about it because I don't want people to be misconstrued. I want people to show me some facts. So far, nobody provided any facts on why they think that the Democrats were bad or the GOP is bad or the GOP is good or the Dems are good. I just want to hear people who said derogatory things about any side. I want to know why you say that. It'd be awfully nice. So we'll have a conversation on Wednesday night. Hopefully I'll see you guys. Make sure you guys join us on the Bankus game tomorrow in the afternoon on the US on the Zoom call. If you're interested in the Bankus card, make sure you don't miss that. And load up on treasury bills. Okay, 4.4%. Not bad. But don't hold them too long because inflation is rising more than 4.4%, just so you know. Annually, that is. That's not 4.4% a month, okay? Just it's 4 point. That's your yield over a year. And if inflation, well, inflation is higher than 3.4, 3.9, 2 point. That's a lie. They don't include energy and food, just so you understand. All right, so we'll get there. But a lot of people, instead of going to cash and filling the duffel bag of cash, they say, well, let me put it on treasury bills so at least I get something over my next 12 months. At least I get part of whatever, 40.35 or 0.37. So at least you get that versus 2% by the bank or something. And first of all, I don't like bank holding my money. So I'd rather have it in treasury bills, quite frankly, and give me my 4%, 4.2, 4.3, 4.4, whatever the case may be, because then you're still going to be liquid. You'll still be able to use it. That's what MDA0214 does. He goes, inflation isn't important. That's because he parks his money from trading, and so therefore it's a short-term type of thing. If you're doing short-term, then it doesn't matter. Really doesn't. But it's better than still leaving it at 2% or 0%. So there is a point to be made that you should, if you're going to have a lot of cash, you should not leave it totally not earning any. Some of it needs to earn something. It shouldn't sit there at zero. Because let's just call things like they are. Remember what happened in the Great Depression when people had money sitting in these entities, these banks and stocks and bills. America was in default. virtually. They were trying to get citizens to give them gold and silver. And then when the citizens said hell no, they banned it. They were like, okay, then we're going to ban it. So then people melted it down and put it in jewelry or any other way they could carry it out and walk around with it so the government wouldn't get it. That's how crazy. You guys don't know what country you live in. So anything that the government's holding is always at risk as far as I'm concerned because they have shown it in the past. This ain't like, this ain't like fairyland. This ain't fairy tale land. I was listening to a fund manager and he said it best. It's not about the rate. It's about the flexibility to liquidate and go into something else at any time. That's correct. I mean, I don't know. It's easier to, yeah. I mean, yeah, kind of easier to, yeah. But I agree. I agree. I just said what you're alluding to. That does give you flexibility, and just like a duffel bag of cash does. But like I said, you can't hold a duffel bag of cash forever. You gotta deploy because otherwise you're losing buying power by holding it. So you, like I said, even if you get 4%, 4.1, 4.3, 4.4, you're still at least earning something for your duffel bag of cash or your cash you're holding. So you should always do that. I agree with that 100%. I don't have a problem with that. Or putting it somewhere that's earning. I always allude to put it somewhere where it's earning that you can actually liquidate quickly. This is why real estate doesn't liquidate fast enough unless you can get loans against it pretty quick. And then why would you do that? Because it's working against you. Because now you do have interest that you owe for the borrow. So why do that? It makes no sense. So you should post up your money. I agree with this. And I know that's what they're doing. When you're holding millions of dollars, you don't want millions of dollars just sitting on the sideline. I mean, at least give us 3, 4, 5%. I mean, something, right? At least make something. You can't go to zero. You can't sit there and let inflation eat away. I mean, you could, but if you end up holding this for 2, 3 years and don't deploy it, it's getting sucked out, which is what happened in the EU zone to their citizens when they went negative interest rates. And people were holding money in the bank and they were losing. The bank's going, oh, you have $1 million over here, but you owe us $3,000 this year. And they're like, what? My money's in your bank. What do you mean I owe you $3,000? Yeah, we took $3,000 as fees. It's negative interest rates. Don't you know what that means? People quickly said, hold on, where's that London Stock Exchange at right now? Where's them US treasuries? They were happy to deploy that money. They were like, oh, hell no. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's how it goes out here, all over the world. All right, I'm going to end this right now. Very good conversation, MDA0214, and everybody else. Thank you so much for being in the house tonight and participating in the chat room and talking to others. I greatly appreciate that. That is so awesome. And so once again, Monroe Ray, I see you. Sprat5601, I see you as well. Thank you so much for participating on another platform. I see we got a problem because that other platform went dark. That's bummer. But oh well. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we got to deal with out here. You just never know who the bad guys are. They're hidden. And with all that said, I love you guys very much. Thank you so much for your support over all these years and tonight. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why it's only going to get harder. You sitting by hoping that your job doesn't lay you off or fire you and you still going to have health care and all that thing that's going to come into play. You better get on the game of making sure that you have a skill set. If it's not stock trading, it's going to have to be something else where you can make extra streams of revenue, extra money in case you have to rely on yourself. Because remember, most people work for somebody else. And it's very hard to work for yourself, but make sure you do something that you can earn an extra living for. All right, 2 a.m. Eastern, we look to ride the market back down. There you go, man. because that's what kind of is happening right now. It's starting to slide depending on, let's see, you're in the S&P though. I don't have the S&P up on mine. No, US, well, I'm not even on the SPY either. It's US top 30 stocks. It's just going sideways. Nothing's happening. NASDAQ though, it's trending down. And if we look at some charts, oh yeah, it's got a long way to go from, yeah, let's see, we're going down to 23. It's at 23,149. Yeah, this if this loses 150 points, which potentially it can, because if you go by the last 4 hours charting, let me see. Let me go last hour. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's at 22,870 and it's at 23,151. If bad news continues to come out, yeah, you could if it trends down, that would be interesting. Let me go see what we're doing here. Oh, it's not trending down. Not really. Kind of. If you're on the 1 minute, it's kind of looking that way. But there's a huge candle that just popped up, 23,150 to 16. On the 1 minute though, which, it is what it is. But it's still trending somewhat down overnight, which is expected. You have lower volume because you're into the New York, London Stock Exchange. Should be, yeah, they're operational right now, I believe. So it looks like we're on the right. Yeah, I agree with you, but I'd tread lightly because I'd pay attention to some news. You know what I'm saying? At this day and age. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for being there. Make sure you stay safe out here because there's a lot of people under stress, duress, have family issues, have health issues, have mental issues. You just never know. So just try to keep an even keel and get along with everybody. And everything should work out fine. Be a good human. And with all that said, no matter what you do out here, just make sure you keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.